And we've seen him do this on occasions. Of course, he won the World Championship back in 2002. And I'll tell you one thing. I still reckon that if there's a prize, Mike, for the most elegantly and neatly turned out professional snooker player, it would go to Peter Ebdon every time.
Yeah, and me. And I think some of the youngsters could take a lesson from that, actually. Some of the attire that they wear could be a little bit slightly upgraded, shall we say. But I'm with you. He was always immaculate, actually. He's always been a very, very consummate professional, Peter Ebdon, and a tough man to beat. You know, OK, we know, like I say, he does take his time a little bit on certain shots and whatever, and players can be put off by that, but they know he's there and they have to cope with that. And it was a very gritty performance from him yesterday to beat the former world champion. And he's here today in the semi-finals, and I'm sure he's given it 100% to be in tomorrow's final as well.
Yeah, so this is his 5th match, because being where he is in the rankings these days, Peter had to play a wild card round match at the beginning of the week. He played one of the local boys, Liu Haoshan, who we've not seen before, and he beat Liu 5-2. And since then, he's had victories over Matthew Stevens, John Higgins, and, as we've just been mentioning yesterday, Neil Robertson, as Ding returns to the arena. 24 years and 364 days old. Oh, 365, actually. It's a leap year this year, isn't it?
Got that one. Good win this morning for Stephen Maguire, 6-2 against the in-form man Stephen Lee. That was a very good result. It was 2 each at half-time there.
Yes, he didn't half turn on the gas after the mid-session interval, though. Big breaks in all 4 of those next frames.
Well, imagine it. I mean, really, Stephen Maguire should have been out yesterday. Ronnie played a poor positional shot from the pink to the final red, and then it went down to a respotted black, of which he got the intended treble.
Oh, the intended treble, is that right?
not the intended double. I've been told that it was the intended treble.
I can't believe that.
Thank you. The second break. 第2会 break.
So, Ding Junhui breaking off in frame 2 of a possible 11. And if you get a chance to watch that double that became the treble from Stephen Maguire, it's well worth watching. We've had the occasional respotted blacks, of course, not often in the final frame of a match, and certainly never in my memory, and I've been around for a little while, I don't recall ever seeing an intended double to win a match turning out to be a match-winning treble. But there you go. You learn something new every day.
Well, Peter's off to the better start here, but obviously with the head-to-heads, the bookies have got Ding Junhui a strong favourite in this semi-final. Ding is 11-4 on, and Peter is good value. Is 9-4 against. That's a good price, the way he's been playing.
Yes, he was a good price yesterday, wasn't he, with Neil Robertson being the clear favourite there. But 5-3, he ground out a very good victory.
Oh, that's short. It's a poor shot from Ding there. He's left a fairly easy opener here for Peter to get in. Again, didn't need the second invitation, but he's just lost the white slightly. And the green is not even onto the middle, so I think he'll just tuck in behind the green here.
Yes, I'm sure you're right. Peter, of course, let's not forget, he has been to the final here on one previous occasion. He won this tournament himself in 2009, beat John Higgins 10-8 in the final. So 2 former winners here, and Stephen Maguire in the final, yet another former winner.
Well, when we got down to the last 16, of course, the last 8, it was a wonderful lineup anyway. And they're all trying to put a little bit of edge on their game for the upcoming World Championship in about 3 weeks' time.
Yes, 3 weeks today. It all begins at the Crucible.
And I think there might be a few surprises as well, actually, the way people have been playing. be interesting to see that first round draw. I think that's made on the 16th of April, actually, at lunchtime. That's the day after the qualifiers finish.
Green ball. Peter Ebdon 1.
Interesting shot selection there, Mike. Instead of just rolling up to the green, choosing to come off it for as tight to the cushion as he could get, but he's not, as a result of that, got the snooker.
Yeah, I suppose it's wants to see if Ding can make a mistake here. If he'd got him behind the green, he might have had a chance just to roll into the side of the pack, which he would have got nothing from.
Well, that white's going to be close, isn't it? No, it's all right.
Yeah, but he's pushed the red towards the corner, and Peter might take this on.
I think Ding, with the knowledge of the Neil Robertson Peter Ebdon match yesterday, will know that he could be in for a long stretch here. Peter will not be hurried.
Might just be clipping off this for safety. Well, he went for it.
He did indeed, but he was some way out.
Well, that could have been a lot worse. That white have just stayed between the blue and the pink spot at the pot to the left corner. Would have been easy for Ding Junhui.
So close, but I think he's got away with that. I think it's fairly tight on the cushion.
Yeah, it wasn't too far away, just caught the near jaw. I think Peter might play that red, actually, just play a safety off that one. There's nothing at this end for him. He might be able to just play a little bit of top spin and kill the white. Well, he'd like to get it in the middle of the table, actually, behind the brown would be handy. So it might be interesting in a couple of seasons' time, Mike. We've got Lu Ning, who played this week. We've got Ding. And there's a young lad, 15-year-old in China, called Dong Dong.
Yes.
We're going to have Ning, Ding and Dong.
Yeah. Yes, well, I'm waiting for that time when I get to say.
No,
okay, right, I'll leave it, right.
Don't state the obvious. So it's going to be Ning, Ding and Dong, actually, in about 3 years' time.
They're coming to take Michael away soon, folks, don't worry.
The van's coming.
There's the millimeterage. You get yardage in golf, why not millimeterage in snooker? Oh, clean as a whistle.
Great shot. He meant that one. The problem here for Ding is not to get embroiled with Peter and, you know, with the speed, the tempo of the match. He's got to try and control these frames. He doesn't want Peter to control the speed of the match. It would break his rhythm. So the obvious thing is to try and win the frames in one visit. Now, he hasn't got the angle on the green here. He's certainly got one on the yellow to get into the pack. But there's loose reds he can play on.
Brown ball.
I think he's playing the brown for... Well, that's a possibility. We get into them, or there's a couple of reds he can play on. He's gone to get them open. That's unlucky. Oh, he can't believe that stuck there. He had two reds he could have played on as well.
Yes, it's a risky business always when you go into the pack. Sometimes you find yourself on one and sometimes not. As you say, Mike, he didn't have to. They thought it was worthwhile having a go. But the force wasn't with him on that occasion.
Unlike the Source then a couple of years ago with Jimmy White. He changed his name
to
James Brown. I wonder if he felt good.
Whoa. Well, he thought that was makeable into a plant, but as you see, didn't quite come off.
Well, he was very unlucky when he went into the bunch. I mean, he hit the red fullish and it just stuck.
Yeah, there was a lot of distance between those two. It was quite a risky tuck. And as a consequence, he's left Peter in here.
Well, the blue is the obvious colour to go back for. Might have to play this on the thin side with a little bit of right-hand side on the cue ball. Well, he's trying to get on the pink. I don't think he's on it, actually. I'm very surprised he played that. I don't know why he didn't catch that red on the thin side and go down for the blue. He's trying to be a little bit cute there and get onto the pink. In fact, he wasn't far away from being on the black. Well, this blue's a big shot if he takes it on.
Well, not taking the brown. He's nominated the blue, I should say. He's nominated the brown. I thought he'd go for the blue. No, he's playing the safety game here.
Oh, this could be close.
Very close. Oh, my goodness. Well, Joe Johnson would say, years of practice.
Yeah. Well, it makes all the difference, because ball in hand, of course, Peter would have had this red in the middle of the table. And now it's awkward. And the one that's in the middle of the table, unless you can see the right-hand side of that, to get back to the bulk, this Peter's in a little bit of trouble here. I don't think the brown's in the way, actually. Just look at that cueing. Horrible. Well, he's played it cushion first anyway, and he's played it well. Could do with that white running on a little bit more.
Oh, he's just made it to the bulk line. Not a bad effort considering where he was.
Well, yes, the red is on to the right corner, but Peter knows that Ding will be clattering into things here. That's why he's playing the safety shot. No percentage in that one on the right-hand side.
No, the line of the yellow, the green and the blue is actually... Oh, well, the green spoilt that a little now. That was a good target to aim for, but Ding couldn't get to it from that particular shot. Still, that's not a bad safety. He's going to have to be patient here, the young man, if he's to get into the final on his birthday tomorrow, as he did 7 years ago. And here's another Joe Johnson-ism. He knows the game backwards.
He's got away with that as well.
Has.
Has he got copyright on those?
Well, I always give him due credit when I use the phrase, Mike. He settles for that.
Okay, then. I'll believe him.
Well, here's what good old Hawkeye would have done, of course, aiming for the yellow and the green, naturally.
Well, I wonder if there's one there through the gap.
It does go through the gap. Well spotted.
Just lost the cue ball, though. Could have done with landing on that brown there. Might still be tempted with the yellow.
The white, so close to that middle pocket.
It's finished perfect. He's got the knuckle, and just look at that. Well, you know, he's a frame behind, of course, so just take advantage. Make the most of this.
Four. Ten.
Well, he's just working things out here. He'll be playing this red, just holding for the pink, but as always, these boys think 3, 4, 5 shots ahead.
11.
Well, he's just going to hold for this red on the right-hand side. And he's got the angle now to cannon into the red, left of the black, and get onto the black here.
17.
That's the shot. Perfect.
18.
And I think this red that's just behind or to the right of the black spot will go to the left corner, so you can possibly get rid of that one this time. That would slightly open up the black spot, but this is a definite chance here to make it one apiece.
25.
Yes, well, you made a good point earlier, Mike, about being in this situation with Peter, having to think about winning frames in one visit. And here's a typical example where he has the opportunity.
Well, he doesn't want to get embroiled in all the other stuff, does he? You know, it was hard work for Neil Robertson yesterday, and Peter came through that one. We know what a hard match player Peter Ebdon can be.
26.
But this guy's made over 242 centuries in his career, in his short career so far. So he'll be looking to score heavy here in the semi-final once he gets these sort of chances. And he's just pushed one away from the black spot there, but they're all open now. You would expect him to win the frame from here.
34.
He's only had 1 century this week, Ding Junhui. That was against Ben Wollaston in the first round, and really, he could have been out. He was 4-0 behind and won 5-4.
42.
Yes, poor old Ben Wollaston. You have to feel for him, the qualifier. He was on the threshold of what would have been his greatest victory Didn't happen for him though, did it?
How many times do we see when a player should have been beaten in the first round go on to lift the trophy? Ronnie O'Sullivan in Berlin in
49.
the German Masters.
50.
Well, they're all there. As long as he doesn't get careless, there should be one apiece.
Well, that was frame ball. But he'd like another red just to make sure. Yes, I don't think Peter will come back to the table if Ding should break down here.
Well, again, this is exactly what Ding's got to do. He knows he's going to get chances here today, but he has to score heavily.
64.
And we know that he's very capable of doing that. It's nice to see him back playing well. He had a couple of problems a couple of seasons ago, you know, confidence factors and all that, but his management team,
66.
Guy Baldry and Keith Warren, have done a good job on him and got him back playing well again.
67.
And I would suggest in this sort of form, Mike, that he will be one of the contenders this year for the world title.
Oh, he's got to be. No question, he's got to be.
You know, and then the reason I'm saying that is because this is probably the best I've seen him playing going into a world championship.
That's not the best shot he's played, though. He's just come off the blue enough to have a go at the yellow and possibly go on to make the century.
It's just signs, though, isn't it? A few weeks before, when we're going into that world championship, you're looking at players, aren't you, and see who's
84.
playing the best.
I suggest Stephen Maguire's right up there in the mix the way he's been playing lately, and the other Stephen Lee.
Well, this is probably going to be the most open world championship we've ever had. A lot of players playing well at the same time.
This is a tricky one if he's got to get that ton. So the break found us on 87, but that was very well worked. He had to work those reds particularly. Difficult they were in the initial stages of that break. 87 then to match Peter's 67. It's all square. One frame apiece.
Macedonia, timeless.
Suzuki, way of life.
Here we are back at the Beijing University Students' Gymnasium. Penultimate day of this Bank of Beijing China Open. The big final tomorrow over possibly 19 frames for the first prize of £75,000, which is the biggest prize we've had here out in the Far East since we began staging ranking tournaments here back in 1990. Remember that time, Mike, when you were in Hong Kong?
Thank you.
I thought I'd give it another mention, just to keep me on your Christmas card
My only
list.
one as well.
Yeah, but it's one more than quite a lot of players have done, mate.
Well, unfortunately, I had a couple of finals, but I got buried by a young man called Stephen Hendry. Have you heard of it?
Must look his name up sometime.
OK, mate. Google him.
One frame apiece here, Ding Junhui and Peter Ebdon. Best of 11, remember. First to 6 going through to meet Stephen Maguire in tomorrow's final.
That could be the pink.
Ooh.
Well judged. And it's not touching as well. I think Peter's got a chance here just to play off these left-hand reds, actually get the white back to the bulk area.
Green.
4. 丁俊晖
Unfortunate.
I'm wondering if this could be a free ball once it's respotted.
4. Free ball.
Just wait till we get back to the pitch yet.
Yes, and Zhu Ying has actually declared the free ball. There you go.
Wrong ball.
And that's 1 point, the brown being an extra red.
Yeah, I suppose some people would have thought that was unlucky to knock the green in, but to be honest, it was a poor shot to be anywhere near the green anyway. He should have been coming off 2 cushions and putting them right behind the green spot. It was a poor safety shot from Peter. Could prove costly. Ding was certainly in the mood in that second frame.
Yes,
That
but
87.
can he get past the blue, though, for this red?
I think he's just okay. He's just checked to see if the black goes to the left corner, so he might try and get on the black here. Well, there you see it. Plenty of room.
Yes, more than I thought, Mike.
Didn't want to take the risk with the black, so obviously the percentage shot was the blue.
He's played that very, very well. Look where that white's finished. Perfect.
Yeah, might just play on the one near the black spot now. You want some angle on this red, but it looks fairly straight.
9.
No angle there, so back for the blue then. In fact, I think the pink might go to this left corner.
10.
Strange that it may seem, Mike, it might even go through the gap into the right corner. Possibly. Well, this time he's finished the wrong side of the blue. So your suggestion of the pink, Mike, if it goes, could come into the equation here.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at this. Oh, that's probably where he wanted to be, but I think he played on the pink here, and he's going to probably nudge that red to the right of it, just towards this corner pocket. Oh, he's playing the blue, so obviously it won't go. Well, there's a red there just at the back of the pack available.
15.
No, I think he's probably played on the one right of the pink.
I think he's come too far for that.
Well, the one at the back won't go. So I'm just wondering whether he can see enough of this one. Has he gone too far?
Oh, gosh, this looks tight past the pink.
He's not sure, is he?
No, neither are we, sitting here looking at the camera angle.
But he wishes he could play that again. Well, if you can't get enough of this one, it's end of break. There's nothing else on. You know, sometimes you try and force yourself into these when you really don't want to play it, but you finish up playing it and making a right mess.
Yes, well, he's been down on the shot twice now and got up off it. There is obviously a degree of an element of doubt in his mind here. Let's have a little look. Well, I don't think there's enough there.
No, neither do I.
And now we can see the pink does not go through the gap. Well, that's the right choice for me,
丁俊晖 15.
eventually. Oh, it's an even better choice. Look at that.
Well, I think Peter can get off this left-hand cushion just into the side of the pack. It's got to be careful he doesn't just slide off them, because that red just at the edge there, you could just clip that open. I want it to be high on the pack here, just behind the pink. That looks pretty good. Has he got there?
Fault and miss. Ding Junhui fault.
Oh,
Well,
just needed the door to open there. That was a fraction away.
yes, or as one commentator said a few years ago, I'll not tell you it was to avoid embarrassment, he said that's millimetres away from being inch perfect.
Good angle. I think he's just got there this time. Well played. Well, terrific pace on the cue ball, but he would have really liked that white behind one of the board colours. The yellow or the green. And there's a path here for Peter back to the bulk area.
Yes, your tip is still there, Ding. Certainly having a good look at it there, wasn't he?
It's not a bad nudge. He was able to use the black as a stopper for the red, but Ding's okay here. He's got a shot back to bulk. Just play off the loose red. He will be opening up one or two reds here, so we have to be careful. He doesn't leave anything on. Yellow and brown, a good target to get him behind them. That's a pretty good shot, good pace. If that white had bounced off that cushion about 6 or 8 inches, then there's no doubt Peter would be taking this red on the right-hand side, but it's a more difficult shot now. Still might take it on.
Who do you think they're supporting,
Yeah.
eh?
Well, that's a great shot. He's played one. That is top draw. What a shot that is from there. Brilliant. It's got Ding in trouble here.
I think he's got Hawkeye in trouble.
We would have had a possible route back to the bulk area for one of the reds, but the black's in the way once he comes off the top cushion. Can't lay the white near the top cushion, because unless he covers that red near the middle pocket, he could leave things on for Peter. This is tricky.
Yes, he's looking at one of the reds, which is just on the left-hand edge of the cluster. That's one suggestion, just roll up to them. But he's looking actually on the left-hand side to come off it and round the back of the black. Not the red that's away from the cluster on the left, the one that's just slightly separated from about 3, 4, 5 balls together. He's had a look at that one, and he's trying to work out whether he can hit it correctly to come around the back of the black. If he can't, then maybe our suggestion on screen is the only other alternative, to just nestle into them on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I know the one you mean, Mike. But if it hits that one thin, it'll collide into the black. If it hits it thick, it's going to collide into the red. That's the one I was thinking about, actually, but I think the black's on the way to do that. Well, let's just see what he's going to play here. He's looking at that one, but I don't think he can... It's the one just left of the pack. And if he hits it on the thick side, I think he'll hit the other red. Catches it on the thin side, he'll collide with the black. So it looks like a 2-cushion escape here off those 2 reds near the pink. Side cushion, top cushion.
Oh, what a shot.
This could finish up behind the green.
Well, that really was a cracking escape.
Well, he looked at everything, didn't he? And in the end, he played a good one. Acknowledged there from Peter. Little tap on the table. The players always support... Well, they don't support their opponents. They're there to beat them, but you know what I mean. But they always give acknowledgement to a good shot when it's played. Well, I think he's taken this one on.
So close, but I think he's left it into the middle.
Could have finished anyway, couldn't it?
Could really at that speed.
But how many times do we see them finish up near a corner or a middle pocket? That was a fraction away from going in, but I think this one will.
One. Five. Six.
Yes, taking an immediate chance to get this black back onto its spot. So once again, an error from Peter, giving Ding an opportunity to accumulate something here. And 87 was the accumulation in the last frame.
That wasn't a bad little nudge on the pink either.
13.
You just expect Ding to knock another big one in here. Zhu Ying, referee, just cleaning the cue ball.
Yes, having a bit of a stretch there to get to it too. She'll be on crucible duty in 3 weeks' time. First time she will have refereed in the World Championship.
Well, he's got an option here to go into them, open up a few more. No, top spin. He's just dropping on this red. He's going to pick these off.
21.
Well, he could open them up here. He could screw back off the pack for the blue. He's playing the percentage shots.
28. 29.
Well, he could have
35.
been... Just wanted that cue ball a little bit further to the left. He's just left himself straight on this red. I think he was looking to get an angle on the pink to run into the pack. Can't do that now.
36.
He's the wrong side, so he'll have to play on the open red. And of course, if he played on the blue, with the pink being separated from the pack, that wouldn't have been the correct shot. He might have just missed those, actually. So he'll be looking to get an angle on the black, I think, to split the reds. He won't get it here. It's gone too far. Unless he leaves the white high.
42.
In fact, he only needs... Well, actually, there's 70, would be 75 left.
Yeah, he still needs one more of those 6 reds, Mike.
Yeah, that's the way. When he played that pink, Mike, he just left himself the wrong angle on the red, didn't he, in the middle? He wanted to be able to get high on the pink. So he needs red, black, red, or if he can get an angle on the pink here, who knows? He could do the job with that.
Well, he's thinking the way you're thinking now.
Well, it looks good, actually. I think he's got perfect position this time.
He just needs that little element of luck here to loosen one red into a possible position off this pink.
Well, there'll be lots of top spin going on here. Just drive the cue ball through those 6 reds, and he'll be very unlucky not to land on one. I expect him to be on one, and then it would be frame ball. Well, I thought he would have gone in with more pace.
Yes, he played that quite moderately,
49.
didn't he? And I'm not sure, Mike, whether he's actually on one.
Well, this right-hand red might go. Oh, it's tight. Very surprised it didn't really pile into them there, just to make sure he got them well open. That might just go, actually.
No.
Caught the red on the way through.
49.
But I think he's covered it with the blue. Well, I'll question the pink he played. I thought he should have driven through the reds a little bit harder than that. Just watch this, just feathered that red. I bet he wishes he could have that pink back again now. Problem Peter's got here that, okay, he could probably swerve around the blue, but the red is not right on the pocket. It's 2 or 3 inches away from it.
No, but you feel that he's got to move it.
He could still pot it if he gets the correct angle. But if he misses, it could be all over in this frame. Well, cushion first then. Oh, what a shot that is.
Well played.
You could see the side being applied there. That was an excellent shot. Unlucky to finish there. He could have done with, well, he could have easily finished better on the black. But that was a great shot.
Ten years now since Peter lifted the championship trophy at Sheffield. And 3 years, as we look at that red again, since he won here in Beijing, this very tournament.
Well, neither high-value colours are easy here. He had a quick look at the black, but he's going to have to play that with right-hand side to cannon into the red, so he's opting for the pink.
It's got to go in too. And unfortunate that he's pushed that red onto the cushion.
7.
But that was a must pot at pink, otherwise he would have needed a snooker.
Well, he might just open them up here and play the white down into the baulk area. Don't think there's any plants on there to the middle.
Well, that's what he was just checking.
This will be a risky one to take on down the cushion.
I don't think he's taking it on. He's just using it to take that white down the table.
Needs a big bounce there to get him behind the
Exactly.
green. Well, he's heading it on, but it wasn't the right angle anyway. But he's letting, that's not a bad shot. I was about to say he's letting Ding split the reds here, but I think he can see some of this red left of the black, but he's playing off the pack. So he's got to make sure he gets these safe. Now it could become interesting. But it's not a bad cue ball. It's a pretty good cue ball. I think he's got Peter just about snookered on all of the reds here.
There might just be a whisker of one of the reds between pink and black. Maybe just a coat of paint that he can see. But it was a very good shot from Ding.
Well, Peter knows just one mistake here and the frame is over. Just waiting to finish the job off in this frame. I don't think you can see anything there, Mike. I think the pink's in the way. Well, if he's coming off cushion first, but you said it could be a whisker, but it's going to be very thin. Oh.
Disaster. And he's immediately conceded the frame, disgusted with himself for making the error there. So the 49 earlier from Ding did prove to be enough in the end, and China's hero in snooker terms takes the lead again from Peter Ebdon. He leads 2 frames to 1.
Suzuki Way of Life. Discover this month's great sporting events available on the Eurosport Player mobile application. So you don't miss out on any of the action, the mobile app gives you full live streaming access to Eurosport and Eurosport 2. Watch your favourite sports and stay connected when you're on the move. Because sport never stops, Eurosport Player is also available on Mac and PC. Eurosport Player, all sports, all emotions.
Welcome back to Beijing. Ding Junhui leading Peter Ebdon by 2 frames to 1 here in this second of today's semi-finals. Just looking at one or two of the highlights of the third frame of a possible 11, remember. That was the unfortunate potting of the yellow a little earlier on in the frame. Peter had a couple of touches of bad luck, it has to be said, in that frame, and Ding took advantage.
Yeah, I think there's just at the end there, there's just a small sign of frustration from Peter Ebdon, and where he sort of whacked the brown. It's not often he does that, because he never concedes on his opponent's shots, and he just feels that Ding was a little bit fortunate to cover the things up there, because if he hadn't got that white behind the brown, he would have had a shot on the red to the corner. So it's only 2-1. It's still a long way to go in this match. You know, if he gets this one before the mid-setting interval, no problem. It's not often you see that from Peter, but you know, he's probably got that out of his system now. hopefully.
Yes, total frustration, I think, on one or two occasions for Peter in that frame. So Ding leading 2-1. As you say, Mike, this is the one that takes us to our mid-session interval.
Well, that's a poor break-off shot. And I think Ding might have gone away with that one as well. He's been lucky again. OK, Peter's got this red to the right corner, but the one to the middle would have been much easier. So at the moment, Ding Junhui just having the little rubs here. Peter, a few years ago, he used to get a little bit heated under the collar, shall we say. He's a little bit more placid these days. There's been times when we've seen a lot of emotion from him.
Yes, I remember that remarkable display of emotion when Peter won a match against Stephen Lee in the World Championship, and he let out a couple of almighty roars, which actually upset Stephen. And they were due to play together for England in the World Cup, as we had then. We should bring that back, by the way. And I think, if I remember rightly, Stephen Lee said, I really don't feel like playing with him unless he apologises for that outburst, which, anyway, they kissed and made up, as it were, eventually. Of course, we did have a World Cup, didn't we, Mike?
Yeah, last year, last summer.
Yeah, I'm just forgetting. We did bring it back. Of course we did. It was right at the start of the season. Such a long time ago, you see.
I think it's going to be. I think they've scheduled it for every 2 years, actually. Hopefully next summer. Not this summer. I think it'll be next summer.
Yes, I'd forgotten about that. Forgive me. But yeah, that was an interesting situation that developed. 2,879 millimetres, not 2,880. Note. Oh,
Wow, he meant that one, didn't he?
what a cracker, and beautifully back for the blue. That was a super shot from 2,879 millimetres as well.
I'm making a phone call here. In fact, I'm going to request the still frame just to make sure. Well, he's got the perfect angle to go into them. If he just catches that red full ball that's near the pink, they should scatter nicely. Oh, he's chose to play on the loose one on the right-hand side of the pack.
Has he gone hard enough?
I don't think he has. Oh, that's a poor shot, really.
6.
He had options there, and he's not finished on that red. And that won't help his mindset. Don't know why he didn't go in with a bit of pace there to try and bring them open. Well, again, Peter will be a little bit disappointed there. You can see the red that he intended to be on, but just under-hit the cue ball. This is an important frame for him. I think that if he goes 2 apiece here, then he can win this semi-final. But if he goes 3-1 behind, I think Ding might go into the distance.
Yet again, Hawkeye shows him just how he should have played it. So just the safety.
Peter Ebdon 6.
He's covered the left-hand side of the Reds as we look at them, but coming up off the right-hand side, there's the danger for Ding of going in off in the corner here. Ding's got to be very careful. Well played. Doesn't want to hit the green though.
I think he'll settle for that. It's not great. Caught it on the thick side and needs some help here, and he hasn't got it because the white's just finished in between the green and the brown. Another day he might have finished on top of one of the baulk colours, but it's not quite happening for Peter at the moment. But he's got to stay patient. Well, Din's got a slight angle on this red to get back for the blue. Black's tied up. Well played.
1.
Too hard, actually.
Yes, that cue ball seemed to roll on and on there, didn't it? Much too far, really.
It's got the option of the yellow here. He's just checking to see if the brown passes the green. Or is he going for the green, actually, I think?
Yes, I think he is, Mike.
Well, you could just see enough of it. Well, he's got some work here to put anything together with the pink and black where they are.
Yes, he has indeed. Got to come back for the blue again here off this red.
If he can get an angle on the blue, he could possibly go into the pink there, open that up. Well, I think he's found a plant. Well played. Hang on, though. He's okay.
5.
Just.
Next red is not straightforward, though, because it's the wrong side of the blue. He wants the white right of the blue spot. He can't get any backspin on it. Can he drop this in? There is the one there, the pink, but which he might take on. He's just checking where the white will come off the pink here. One spot in this red, so that I can only assume he's going to take this one on. Well played.
11.
Well, that's unlucky. Struck that well, but could have been better on the blue. And the pink and black still tied up after all that. I think he's taken this blue to the corner, or thinking about it. Oh, mobile phone.
Name that tune.
Text coming through. Amazing, really, isn't it? After all this time and all the requests, and there's lads out there with boards with no flash with the cameras, why can't they just put their phones on silent,
15.
even if they don't switch them off? It's not hard to do, is it?
I think there should be a system, Mike, where you check in your mobile when you come to a venue like this, like in the old Wild West when you had to check in your guns.
The sheriff's office. The OK Corral.
Oh, that's worked out very nicely.
Well, that's okay.
Oh,
23.
pink now out in the open, and once again, here's an opportunity
24.
for Ding to take another. And 3-1 at the mid-session interval would suit him just fine after seeing Peter take the first one.
Well, we were thinking that Peter might dictate the pace of this match, but it's not the case, actually, and it's obvious that Ding Junhui has just slowed down his tempo slightly around the table as well, just to balance things up a little bit. But at the moment, it's Ding Junhui who's playing better of the two as regards scoring once in. Now, has he come far enough for this red near the left-hand corner? Still has the one to the right. It seems you can see enough of it.
Oh, he's judged that well. Beautifully judged. Great chance for 3-1 then. He wants to give himself a birthday present tomorrow.
£75,000 isn't bad, is it?
Thirty-seven.
A bit straight on this pink, it could have done with an angle. Created one. Well, it's got a 37-point lead with still, what, 2 or 3 reds that are potable. So he should put himself
44.
in snooker's required stage, actually, for Peter after this visit. And Ben Munniston, he's probably sitting at home watching this thinking, well, I should have done him in the first round.
Yes, you had to feel very sorry for Ben getting to that 4-0 lead, and Peter Ebdon now sitting in his chair, absolutely impassive, as Ding is heading towards a 3-1 mid-session interval lead. Yes, poor Ben Wollaston couldn't quite get over the finishing line there, but it was a great effort to get to 4-0 against a player of Ding's calibre. Yes, that'll do. That's the half century.
Well, he worked it all out and played a very good shot there. He can just bring the white back roughly where it is now off this pink. And he's getting ever closer to the winning line in this one. It's looking like a 3-1 scoreline at the mid-session interval.
Red colour red should be enough.
And amazingly, that black has been tied up all of the frame.
Yes.
Not one black potted in this frame. It might be the last one, if he clears.
Mm-hmm.
He's just overdone that. He's got the wrong side of the pink.
Yes, he has to make sure that he's on one more red after this pink.
Well, dead straight would have been okay. There was a red to the left corner, but I don't know whether he can drop this pink in and stay on that one, or he might have to just run into them here. I think he's going with top spin, so I think he's going for the cannon. Dropping it in for that red on the left-hand side. It was okay. It was a perfect angle in the end, actually. I just thought that he might have had too much angle, so this red now
63.
is frame ball for a 3-1 interval lead. I think on reflection of the play, I think a good value really for that 3-1 lead. Peter's played okay, but out of the two, Ding Junhui has scored the better. So a little bit to think about then at that interval for the Englishman.
70. 71.
Well, look at that. I mean, 92 and 91 from these two. That's terrific.
Mm. Well, it's Ding who's had the more table time, though. Hence the 3-1 scoreline, as it is going to be assuredly now.
Well, the dream is still alive then to win
77.
his home title, shall we say, on home soil. Oh.
Well, he was trying to come back and get the pink, nudge the pink away from the white. I'll get it right in a minute. The red away from the black. He's gone for the red into the middle, potted the white. It doesn't really matter. He's got the frame, and that's the important thing. Tried a very tricky shot there, as a matter of fact, but it didn't quite come off. So, at the interval, it's 3 frames in a row for Ding after Peter's 67 gave him the first. So we take our break as well, with Ding establishing a 2-frame cushion, leading Peter Ebdon now by 3 frames to 1.
It's curling's perennial question. Can any of the Europeans outshoot the Canadians? Well, of course they can. But which team could it be? Watch the Body and Mind Games in Switzerland and listen to the Stones. Monday at 9:45, the World Curling Championship live from Basel on Eurosport.
Basel, official host city of the World Men's Curling Championship.